Hello everybody and welcome back to BTD6. I know, another boss challenge video, but today I wanted to do something a little special. This is very special to me in particular. We're going to be re-earning a elite badge that I failed to get. So what exactly do I mean failed to get? Well, back when bosses first came out, aka it was just Luminaries, the second week he was on this map. And this was the second week that I was actually able to do a full round of attempts on his elite version, because back then boss strats were very primitive. It was very easy to lose in elite. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be using the old strategies. I'm going to be essentially a massive hit of nostalgia for those hardcore boss players, really. I will be using some new strategies, like for example using Ben's ability to try and save as much money as possible. But believe it or not, everything that you are going to see in this video is an old strategy. So I want to say this before we really get into the weeds of this video, because this video is going to be a very stressful boss event because we're using all of the old strategies. The Chimps Mode 61 times video is still coming. I plan on releasing it before the end of the year. It's going to be the final video of the year, the final hurrah before we move into 2024 here. Now, Luminaries is coming here very shortly, and I just want to say the farming will look a little strange. Well, not a little strange, a lot strange. But before y'all hop on my ass about using inferior strats, these were the strats that were used. There was no, like, massively over the top efficient farm method. It was just farm the best you can. And what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a strat that was used for tier 1s, just tax zone. You know, tax zone always used to just step on Luminarius per se. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get the tax zone here. We're gonna go for a alchemist on the tax zone. And this right here should be enough to deal with tier 1 in its entirety. And I know that it seems really ridiculous to have such inferior farming methods and strats and stuff, but this is the way it was. And when I always see the earlier boss videos, the ones where strats weren't as efficient, it was just so primitive, I always get this big hit of nostalgia, because it's just like, we really used to do boss events like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep farming as best I can, and I'll meet you at tier 2, where tier 2 actually does not look that different. Now this strat should seem familiar, getting a mad. However, this is what it used to be. It used to be a mad and something to deal with the insides, and I wanted to get something that is, you know, still primitive per se, because a lot of people would think, you know, tax zone with something to clean up the balloons, because, you know, it's mobs. And tax zone is good against mobs. He is the mob king. If you think tax zone is bad against mobs, then you are truly not that good at the game. So we got the mad. This shouldn't be too bad, if all things considered. You know, this should clean up everything. Should. It is always very scary. It is always very scary. I need something else. I need something else. Maybe mortar. I think this mortar right here should help. It's probably not going to be the greatest, but it'll help. And that's all that matters. See, back in the day, back when we were doing boss events, we actually had to aim well. Because if you didn't aim well, you were screwed. Now that tier 2's dead, I'm going to meet y'all back when we hit tier 3. God, how can I not fit a farm there? What the hell? So tier 3 is out. And, well, if you've seen any, if you saw my video about beating Luminarians without Paragons, this setup should look familiar. We're going to be going for a temple on the water here because, well, this is what we used to use. We used to use a temple on the water, if possible, with a mad and some damage amplification. It was very cost ineffective, but it was what we had back in the day. So with the temple up and running, we're not out of the woods just yet, because now we gotta start overclocking the temple. Yeah, there was a lot that went into elite bosses before we really started to optimize stuff and just say, hey, Paragons are the best. Once we actually did get everything going, you can kind of see that the damage on this strat actually does stack up. So with tier 3 down, he popped actually pretty late into the map, like here-ish. But what we're going to do is I'm going to keep farming as much as I can, and we're going to meet you at tier 4. So tier 4 is out, and again, if you know the setup, then it may look familiar. For tier 4, right, because this guy's 10 times overclocked, we used to go for, and I kid you not, we used to actually ultra boost the Mad, and we used to go for a Vengeful Temple. This is not a joke. I'm not lying. I am not, you know, telling you the sick pranks, bro. This is what we used to do. But you can kind of see how stressful the bosses were, because the Paragons weren't actually put down until tier 4 if you had a lot of money to spare, or tier 5, you know. This is just how it was back then. Here we go. I'm hoping that this is enough that we did everything right. We should have. This should. Yes, and there we go. All right. Now comes the stressful part of actually getting everything back up, because, well, the VTSG ate a lot of it. And the farming setup is actually very accurate, because we did used to fill the map with either the BRFs if you were a little bit more spicy, you know, or just marketplaces. It doesn't really matter which. It does in the long run, obviously, because, you know, money. But it used to be either marketplaces or BRFs. So tier 4 is popped. Tier 4 popped right about here where my mouse is. So I'll meet you guys back at tier 5. So tier 5 is about to come out, and what I'm going to do is, obviously I'm going to skip ahead till the defense is done. But you're going to see that the defense is really not that much. So the defense is done. Yes, I did not put in the maximum amount of money that I could into the Paragons because, well, I matched the buy price with the price that they were back when Lunarius was first added, which was just $350. Hence why there's so much extra money. I'm going to play this, and you're going to see just how slow the damage really rolls in. There's really nothing else to it. Like, look how slow the damage is coming in. I'm going to move the ice tower all the way over here, though. This is the defense. Like, there is no more, like, sunshines and rainbows about it. It was just this. It was kind of basic. It was kind of, you know, boring, but it worked. And at the end of the day, if the defense works, it works, you know? With one last activation of the homeland, this should be game over. There he goes. Not exactly to the T, but very, very close to how it used to be done. And seeing the Monkey Star being the VTSG, I am not surprised. You can kind of see, though, that, you know, everything, this is how we used to do it. It's not big, it's not fancy, it's not multiple Paragons, it's not getting the Doom ship to the highest level you can. It was just what we had at the time. If you did like this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTuber jazz. You know how it is by now. I will see y'all there.